Grace and peace be unto each and every one of you all. Welcome to the Dr. Purdue Show. Good evening. I do apologize for not coming on this morning, but I was up all night with my mother. And a lot of you all have heard me talk about my mother. My mother has Parkinson's disease. And there are some times that she be in a lot of pain, and we can give her medicine, but the medicine don't take an effect. It makes her, for some reason, the caffeine, I guess, that's in the medicine gives her that boost, and she's just up all night long. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't get a chance to do the show this morning. But nevertheless, the joy of the Lord is my strength. I want to do a teaching on today. One of the apostles, who's a very special friend of mine in the family, got a hold of me today. And I went to hear his program. And the way that he brought this thing down, it literally blew my mind. And I'm going to kind of pinky bank off of him a little bit. I'm not going to really go into deep scriptures. I'm just going to tell you, read Genesis 40, the whole chapter, and Genesis 41, the whole chapter. But he was sharing with us that a lot of us are going through a lot of different things, but we're going to come out. But sometimes we mess up ourselves. And when we mess up ourselves, God will make us pay for it. Somewhere and somehow He'll make us pay for it. And a lot of people feel that when you receive a blessing, that is a reward from God. But he broke it down and said that's not a reward. You know how some people, when they get money sent to them, if a pastor get money sent to them and they're all excited and they so excited, but they're going to take their part of the money out and yada yada yada. Well, that is wrong and it's not biblical. And what he was saying was this, and when he broke it down, I'm like saying, wow. And this has to do with millionaires, okay? So I have not left from that. This has to involve with millionaires. And what he was reading about was how that when God blesses us with like $100,000, just to use it for an example, like $100,000, that money is to go into the vision that God give you. That money is someone coming in your ministry, or if someone come to you and they know and you know that you have been praying for capital to start a vision that God is giving you. When that money comes in, that money is for that vision. When you work for God, God will work for you. But what has been done, it has been reversed. And what people have done, when people give them, offerings, like when you preach, I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people, they go for those honorariums and things. Me personally, I don't believe in an honorarium. I'm going to tell you the reason why. God's work is not for sale. God's work is not for sale. Number two, I understand why they do it, because a lot of times people have messed up themselves. I spoke to a good friend of mine who lives up north, and he came to Florida and on a wild goose chase because this church asked him to come and speak. And when he got here, there was no church. Well, on something like that, yeah, you're going to pay me. You're going to pay my gas. You're going to pay my plane fare. You're going to do all that, because that is money that people get taken. That's money that is taken out of people's pockets. I mean, let's just be for real. If you bring in any CEO from a major corporation, you're going to have to pay for their hotel. You've got to pay for their plane fare. You got to even pay for the foods that they eat. That's what the corporate world. They just don't jet in for nothing. You got to pay them. So, on that note, that's something kind of different. But, I mean, give you a good example. Some of you all might be praying, asking God to please blessed me with the capital to do something. Well, God can speak to Timbuktu and say, I want you to bless them. Okay then. The person comes to you and tell you, I don't know why I'm doing this, but my heart says to write you out a check of $1,000. My question to you is this. Are you going to use the check for your vision, or are you going to sit there and take the $1,000 check and only put $200 to your vision and the rest go into your pocket? See, this is where people have got to understand. And like I said, when you read Genesis 40 and Genesis 41, you will see the breakdown. And when he shared it with us, it's like, oh my God. And he was saying a lot of times, God can't trust you. God can't trust you. Because every time he blesses you, you messes up. So, use wisdom. This part of being a millionaire. Use wisdom. And believe in what God told you. Because your vision will come to pass. But if you being crooked on the side and ain't doing nothing on the side, yeah, it's going to cause a big mess. Point blank simple. It's going to cause a big mess. But study. Study to show your self-approval. Learn the word of God. Take that time out. You know, God has blessed us with tablets now. Them Android phones. I don't like an Android phone, but I love my tablet. And I love, last night, and this is going to blow y'all's mind. But for some reason, I'm not going to say it was God. I'm not going to say that. But for some reason, and please forgive me if I'm yarning. I'm yarning because, like I said, I didn't get no sleep last night, but I want to come in and do this. Last night, my heart had me to go to Google up the preachers of LA. And I was able to get on oxygen. And that tablet is off the chain because you can look at anything on the tablet. Boy, that thing's off the chain. And I was able to watch an episode with Bishop Noel Jones. And I laughed. I laughed. It was funny, but all at the same time, it was sad. But all at the same time, it had some value to it. And where they was talking about the young lady that goes with him. And see, sometimes women, let me share something with you. A man do not like to be pressured. That's one, okay? I kind of see Bishop Jones' the way he is with her, because Sister Girl is a very feisty somebody. And don't no man want to be with no woman that is very controlling. I mean, come on, let's be for real. Yes, she's a nice young lady. Yes, she knows how to cook. But it's something that Bishop Jones said to Dietrich. And it was funny how he said it, but the woman, the lady that be with him, she's got to be able to revolve around the world. And to some people that might have seemed like cheesy, but it wasn't cheesy. Because even now with my fiance, I'm quick to text him or call him. I'm quick to text him or call him and tell him, are you sure that God has put you and I together? Are you sure that you can handle me doing the work that God has called me to do? Are you sure? And each time in my Facebook inbox, yes, babe, I stand with you. Are you sure that you can handle when guys are coming up to me and all this type of stuff? Yes, babe, I can handle it. Can you handle me going out of town sometimes? And there are times that I'm not going to be able to be with you. And this is where he stopped me in my tracks. He said, anywhere you go, I go. We're not going to be doing things separate. We do things together. Well, right then and there, that really made me feel good because, like Bishop Jones was saying, you got to be able to work with the system. You got to be able to work with the system. You know, you marry me, you know who I am. You got to be able to deal with who I am. So, you know, I got a lot out of it. I was just laughing at Deetra and them and all of them and all that good stuff. But yeah, I did. I was able to go on oxygen. And I love Noel's home. I'm going to keep it real. He looked like he lived in a condo. I love his home. I mean, you know, like Deetra said, you know, who in the world got steel doors? But guess what? He does. So I like his home and everything and stuff. So, you know, I never was against Preachers of LA because I would see different clips of it. Maybe I don't know if it's off the air or what, because Deetra sent a thing out yesterday, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, that the show will resume on Monday or something. I don't know. So I really don't know, but I pray that, you know, they will get it together, because the show is not a bad show. Now Clarence, matter of fact, I didn't even know Clarence was married, and he's got a beautiful wife. Now I'm gonna keep it real with you. He's got a beautiful wife. So, you know, like I said this once before, is that a lot of those guys are entrepreneurs, and Noel has been an entrepreneur ever since he was 16 years old. And I feel like they should explain to the people how they became entrepreneurs and then came into the ministry. Now, Deetra said something yesterday that well, him and Noel was talking, and you know, Deetra was talking about Bishop Jones's home. And Bishop said, when are you going back to preaching? That part I didn't really like that much, because I kind of feel like he was like saying, you know, when you go back into preaching, you start making the kind of money. And I didn't like that too well. He might not mean it that way, but the way that it came off, you know, I kind of didn't like it. But in a way, he's telling the truth, because I did an interview last week, and I didn't understand why I was doing the interview. Someone wrote me an inbox on Facebook, and they asked me, they said, what is your views about Christians doing mainstream singing and not letting people know they're Christians? And I gave my point of view on that stuff. And, you know, I have to agree with Noel, because I know a lot of pastors, what they're beginning to do seminars, empowerment seminars and everything and stuff, because the churches of today is getting to be to the place that is not so much about the money, but it's to the place that, you know, they trying to reach a wide range. So, you know, I can kind of understand Noel, but it was just the way that he said it is what kind of got me right there. But once again, let's keep on praying. And if the show did get canceled, I'm still waiting for those reports. Send them to Dr. Purdue Show at Gmail, and the one that we pick would get a gift card from Walmart and everything stuff. Because, like I said, the show is very, you know, is very educational. It shows you, you know, it really shows you. You know, my heart goes out to Bishop Jones, because, you know, the man's got to get a counselor. And you might say, well, that's crazy. But I understand. You take mostly people that have money. They want to know, why does that person love them? They want to know why that person is crazy about them. Is it about the money, or is it them? And the way that young lady is, she's a control freak. You know, Bishop Jones has been traveling all over the world since I've been knowing this man. Grace, his sister, the same way. So what make you think that when you get married or whatever, he's going to shut down from you? And I can kind of understand Bishop Jones. I really can. So from some of the shows that I seen on last night, and I'm still going to go back and do some more reviews and stuff, but from the two that I seen last night, I got to give it a thumbs up. I don't know what everybody else is talking about, you know, because, I mean, that's all you see on YouTube is the negative side. And that's what kind of turned me off, you know, 'cause I'm like saying, come on now. But when I really seen it, when I really sat down last night, because with my mother being up, I was able to go on my tablet and seen it. And I've seen a couple of shows of it. But the one that really impressed me the most was the young lady with Bishop Jones and the other pastor. He going to try to shoot pool. Now, let me say something about this pool thing. There's nothing wrong with shooting pool in your own home. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a racquetball player. I play racquetball. I play tennis. I don't play cards or nothing like that. But that's what I do. I love sports. I do that. I walk a lot. I do yoga. I do deep meditations. I do deep hypnosis. It's not saying that I'm sinning, because I'm not. Because when I go up on a hypnosis, it's because my mind is on God and I need for God to talk to me. When I do go into deep meditation, is when my mind is on God and I need to really get a word from God. So, before anybody sit there and say, oh, he playing pool, it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're doing it in your own home and you're having a good time with your friends. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing whatsoever. So, I just want to throw this out to everybody, is that we got to be very mindful of how we say and do things. We got to be very mindful of the way that we cut down on people. I mean, because the way that we cut down on people is rough. And being a millionaire, you got to change your position around. You got to change it. Well, I just want to tell everybody to have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for listening to the show. I'm going to try to do another show on tomorrow because I'm trying to keep this thing going. But if I don't be on at times, it's because I'm taking care of my mother. And in God's due time, I will be able to be on it more. But for now, just be patient with me. Just pray for me. Don't pray against me, but pray for me. Because this show is my life. I love doing it. I love it with all my heart. Once again, thank you for listening to the Dr. Purdue Show. And have a beautiful and beautiful evening. God bless.